Hi everyone, Molly here from LearnPedia. Today we have another one of our fantastic trainees, Hagi, and we are going to have a quick chat with him and get to know him, get to know about his technical skills and how he can be an asset to the team he'll be joining. We're just going to ask him a few technical questions and also get to know him first. So, Hagi, it's great to have you here today. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, my name is Abdirahman Hagi. I graduated with a Bachelor in Civil Engineering in 2023, and I'm currently undertaking a traineeship in drafting and designing single-story dwellings, where I've had the chance of working on different projects, such as extension projects and new build projects. I tested my ability to design and analyze structures. While working through these projects, I've been able to learn how to use current engineering software, such as Structural Toolkit, SpaceGass, and AutoCAD. I also have a solid understanding on how to implement Australian codes and standards.
Fantastic. All right. Thanks for sharing that with us. Now we are going to jump in the technical questions. The first technical question, Adri, I've got listed here is that when do you specify a steel lintel, such as PFC plus plate, in a brick veneer wall? Do you right away specify PFC and plate for lintels in brick veneer walls, or you go through a number of options before that? Can you just run me through your design selection approach?
Yeah, sure thing, Molly. Lintel selection depends on structural and aesthetic considerations. So for a brick wall, the factors I consider is the wall height above the opening and the wall thickness. This is because these factors can affect the dimension of the lintel I can use, and I'll also consider the mortar thickness. For a typical residential project, the mortar thickness is 10 millimeters. For brick walls, components such as the equal angle, unequal angle, and the plates sit within the mortar section. So having overly thick lintel can result in having misaligned bricks and uneven mortar lines. For the structural design of a brick veneer wall, you typically start with a single timber lintel with an equal angle. However, the final timber selection depends if there's a failure within the brick section or within the timber section.
Can you elaborate on that word failure? It fails in what aspect?
Oh, okay, yeah, if it fails to meet strength and serviceability designs.
Thank you. Yeah, perfect.
Then you can move to an unequal angle. And if that also is inadequate, then you can try a PFC plus plate or a PFC plus equal angle or unequal angle. However, for the timber section, if the single timber lintel doesn't, again, satisfy the strength and serviceability designs, then you can try playing around with its size, sizing its dimensions, and its grade. If that is inadequate, then you can try using a double timber lintel, and again, playing with its sizes, its dimensions, and its grading. And if that ultimately doesn't work, then you can try to use a PFC plus plate or a PFC plus equal angle or unequal angle. So either way, you don't specify PFC plus plate right away. Also because steel lintels are costly and their use requires steel columns, which can further increase the cost of a project. This is typically why in projects they use timber lintels with angles as they are more cost efficient.
Fantastic. Thanks for sharing that with us. Now, Jay, the second question is that can you explain connection details for the first one, timber floor joist to a steel beam? So how do we connect timber floor joist to a steel beam?
Okay, to connect a timber floor joist to a steel beam, first you need to change the surface of the steel beam. And to do that, you can use a timber packer, which is fixed into the webbing of the steel beam. And the packer is bolted in a staggered pattern with a spacing of 600 millimeters. This is to ensure there's an even load distribution. And once the packer is secured, then you can use prior joist hangers to connect to the timber floor joist to the timber packer.
Fantastic. The second connection method, how do you connect timber trusses to a double brick wall?
Okay, to connect a timber truss to a double brick wall, you need to fix a timber top plate to the top of the brick wall. To achieve this, metal straps can be embedded 12 courses below the top of the brick wall. And the metal straps is bent upwards and passed over the top of the top plate and secured using nails. Once it's fixed, you can use Prada triple grips to connect the timber trusses to the top plate. Alternatively, for a faster installation, you can use another Prada product, which is Prada Speed Truss connectors.
Fantastic, fantastic. And the third one, or the last connection detail for this question is that how do you connect timber trusses to brick veneer wall?
Firstly, in a brick veneer wall, the timber section carries the structural load, whereas the brick serves as a cladding. So the timber trusses will be connected to the top plate of the timber section. And this is done using, again, the same products as I listed before, which is a Prida triple grips. Alternatively, you can use Prida speed truss connectors.
Fantastic. All right, let's move on to the third question. If you notice inconsistencies in the architectural drawings, for example, the plan view doesn't align with the elevation view, what steps would you take, Hagi? And why would you take those steps?
Okay, I would firstly conduct a thorough review of the entire architectural drawing to understand the architect's design intent. I'll check the elevations, the detailings, their sections to identify which other parts could have the inconsistencies. Once confirmed, I'll document my findings and send it to the architect via email. This is to ensure that there's a clear record and helps maintain accountability throughout the project. And if it's okay with you, Molly, I'd like to share an example of when I actually came across an inconsistency, and it was when I was working on an extension project. When looking at the architectural drawing, it showed the new roof line ending at the existing building's roof line. This is when looking at the plan view. However, when looking at the section views and the 3D conceptual drawing at the beginning of the page, it showed the new roof line ending at the external wall of the existing building. I carefully reviewed the entire architectural drawing and sent an email to the architect with the inconsistencies, and by the end, we were able to confirm the design intent.
Fantastic, fantastic. Such a thorough answer. Thanks, Hagi, for sharing that with us. And the last question. What kind of opportunities are you looking for in the field, and how do you see yourself adding value to the team you'll join? Before you start answering that question, I've seen your amazing progress, performance, and dedication in the program. So great job on that. And now I'll just hand it over to you.
Yes, thank you very much, Molly. I'm currently seeking graduate or junior structural engineer positions. I'm open to working with companies that solely focus on residential projects, as well as teams that focus on large-scale and more diverse projects. My main goal is to find a team that can help me grow and develop an effective engineering workplace. What I feel like I can bring to a team is my experience in the current engineering software that I previously listed and my solid understanding of Australian codes and standards. This means I can work independently and require less supervision from senior engineers, helping minimize disruptions to the team's overall workflow. Also, as someone new to the field, I can be molded to fit the team's preferences and standards.
Fantastic. Thanks for sharing that with us. Again, Hagi, it's great to see, like I mentioned, your progress, your dedication, and how determined you've been throughout the whole program. If you're a potential employer watching this video, make sure you reach out to Hagi. You've got his LinkedIn profile, and also you'll be tagged in this post, so feel free to reach out to him. Thanks, Hagi, for spending the time today.
Thank you, Molly.